in The Lion King. Have you seen The Lion King?
Yes, yes.
So what happens is Simba's father dies. He's the great king, Mufasa. Simba spends a long time trying to find himself, and then the monkey brings him into the well to see his father. He sees his own reflection, and then that image transforms into Mufasa. Then Mufasa comes from the clouds, as in the form of cloud, and starts talking to him and tells him who he needs to be, what he needs to do, and that he must go back and go save his people, or lion people. And that was the turning point for him. Now, whether in real life the sort of thing, if it even happens internally, whatever it may be, you talked about guiding light in our previous interview, and you talked about your father as well. When people take and remember very deep lessons that they got from somebody, especially someone they respected a lot, that can often help them when their head is hanging and they don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. Because in a leadership position, you talked about how the world is gray. You don't know which way to go. And the leader is he is the discerner. Mm-hmm. He's the one that needs to figure out what to do. What voices he then listens to is the real question. And I think when people source the inspiration from within, if their parents taught them good lessons like Simba or whatever it may be, that's where you have the magic.
I agree. No, well said. Absolutely. Yes, I agree. And I think that those are important things. Again, to sort of, if you don't make this into like a blueprint, you don't pay attention to it on a daily basis. But if you make it into a blueprint of the things we have discussed, of how a leader should be, and then so forth and so on, and then you go to it whenever there's an issue or a question or a conflict, then it clarifies it. So having the right counsel is very important.
Let's very quickly recap the parts of that blueprint. So for the level 5 leader, caring about your people, knowing who to put where, mm-hmm. right? Having the right counsel. What else?
Taking the responsibility and not the credit.
Okay.
Very important for that leader. And really considering...
And is that, so I just want to make the list, so yeah. Let's finish the list.
Sure.
So is that the last thing? Or?
No, there's more, I think. That's one. Then after that, having the leader be the leader. Now, what does that mean? What that means is in many organizations, you see this all the time. Someone, let's say like you, entrepreneurial spirit, starts a company, and you have a vision. And what happens is the company starts getting bigger. And then the businessmen come in. And they're trying to organize it. They mean well. But the company loses its soul.
Right, right.
So that's a big deal. That's what happened to Apple in the 1980s. And they saw the error of their ways, and there's the result. It's happened many times. So the visionary leader, in fact, it's interesting that I think Zuckerberg and Facebook, they learned from the Apple experience, and even though he's a young man, the vision sustains them. So it's important to see that in real life, these things are important. So, for example, in my world, if I were to take a back seat to a business person because the organization is too large, the business person is not going to care about the same things as I do. So aside from the fact that as a leader I engender trust, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and I would lose all that if I have that kind of levels, which is what happens to most companies that go down the mediocrity road. At the end, the company will fail. And so that's an important issue, that the leader, the visionary, needs to stay and stay and fight and not get separated from what is being done. So as a surgeon, when I was in Washington, at an institute with a number of different people, the busier we got, the more surgeries I wanted to do, as opposed to less surgeries, because I have to be in the trenches. I have to be there with everybody else to understand what's going on and to propagate this process. Mm-hmm. Very, very important. So that's an important issue. Now, the next thing on your list, which comes to a company, which is very important, is
So this would be the sixth.
sixth.
Okay.
Is a what is referred to really as the hedgehog principle, and that can be described in so many different ways, but really it is persistence. So again, doesn't matter if you're talking about it. It's easier to talk about a company, but the persistence of the vision, persistence of the mission is key.
Well, it's very easy to lose persistence the day you get tired or the day you get depressed.
Yes.
The day something goes horribly wrong.